Welcome into the blue-white. Ooh,
right.
Sorry. Welcome into the Modelo Blue-White Player Show. Sorry about that, Goon, if you want to hold her up.
Yeah.
We are here at the Penn State Golf Course, and Goon, not a lot to talk about this week, huh? Kind of a slow week, news-wise. I mean, nothing really happened.
Pretty boring weekend overall. Nothing really happened out in the Midwest to change our week plans, huh?
So what was your initial reaction? Where were you when you found out that Michigan?
Well, we were tailgating. Imagine that. That's a real stretch to imagine. Never in a lot of years did I think that would have happened yesterday. Because I was in the parking lot when in the 16 game when Ohio State upset Michigan to get us into the Big Ten title in 2016. That was a pretty cool, a very cold day like we had. That was some fun time, but that was a close game. That was not expected on Saturday. That was like ridiculous. That's a 20 point spread. And that happens. You don't play Will Johnson and you don't play Loveland, the tight end. There's 2 first-round picks right there that didn't play for Michigan because they opted out to go into the draft. So
players
without your best offensive player and your best defensive player, and you still go out and do that. Now, we talked about it on Sunday. We had people saying that Ohio State threw the game. We can honestly tell you, as athletes, you were never, ever, ever, ever going out there to lose a game. I don't care who you are, how much money, if they try to pay you, you cannot do it as an athlete, and that is play to lose. You can't do it because you're going to get hurt. And I did not see that coming. So, hey, I can't wait to we had our boy Doc on here in a little bit, and we had talked about earlier when the last time he was on, like, the Big Ten title's not on the board for you right now, but the playoffs are still there. And he was talking like, we just got to get there. One of our goals, we can't. And the second goal was going to the playoffs. The third is winning the national title. So now we're right back to square one. We're playing for the Big Ten title this week against the Oregon team. I think that we match up pretty well against.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to circle back, Ryan Day currently has not beaten Michigan, really struggling against them. And I just think it's funny that you play a team that has a quarterback that in multiple games in Michigan has had under 100 passing yards, and Ohio State couldn't find a way.
He has beaten Michigan. He's just lost his last.
Once last 4. When did he get there? He's one. Is he 1-4?
Urban left, right?
Yeah, you're right. Maybe he's 1. Is he 1-4?
I don't know.
It's just not good. Not a good record.
He's been there longer than 4 or 5 years. I know.
Well, that was a game that Ohio State clearly should have won.
Like Carrie and I were talking on Sunday. She said, "Well, what is wrong with Ohio State where they just like pucker up and they get so wound up for that game that they can't play their game. They can't do anything right out. It was just so bizarre to watch.
Well,
kicking game. That's not the Ohio State team that came here and played us.
No, and you're right. They missed a couple field goals, and that's completely just like you said, uncharacteristic for Ohio State and kind of how they operate. But look, they just came in with the game plan of we're going to try to run the ball, and it was almost like a pride thing for Ryan Day. He's like, "Hey, you beat us running the ball. I just want to run the ball," because they didn't throw the ball very much. And they were getting stuffed. And you have these all-star wide receivers, and you don't want to throw to them. I don't know what happened. And it was good result for us.
Overthought it. Overthought it because that definitely happens. We've seen that happen in the past, but
probably wasn't sleeping well in the hotel the night before.
Screw him. We're going to the Big Ten
title, brother. Thank you so much. Thanks, Michigan. Appreciate you finally doing something for us, man.
Right?
But, as far as how we stack up to Oregon, I like it. It is our hardest game yet. I mean, there's a reason they are undefeated and the number 1 team in the nation from top to bottom. They have, in my opinion, the best quarterback in college football. He's the main Heisman. He's not going to win the Heisman, but he's the main Heisman front runner as far as a quarterback. Then they have a really good offensive line, some crazy speedsters at running back, wide receiver, the typical, kind of what you saw from USC, except on steroids. I'm not going to lie to you. And then on defense, it also is the best. Not literally. Don't test them. But and then also not like I said, not to be putting a damper on before Doc gets in here, but also the best front 7 that we have also faced. Not even close.
I'll take it, baby.
So it's going to be a battle.
I will take it.
Listen,
it's our strength is our run game against one of their weak because they can rush the passer pretty good, man.
Yeah.
And our receivers aren't exactly lighting the world on fire. We had Tyler Warren out there, but if they could shut him down like some teams like Ohio State did earlier this year, we might be in some problems if we can't run the ball or throw to him.
Yeah.
But with that said, we know what our weaknesses are. We're going to coach against them. You know, we're going to plot game plan to our strengths and then say, you know, force Oregon to do it. We're on a neutral field. We are the first Big Ten team to play all 4 of the teams, by the way, the new teams.
We are. It's, yeah.
When we whoop them, we're the first team to beat them all.
We won all 3 so far. We got the 4th one right now. And, yeah, so Dan Lanning was interviewed by some Penn State beat writers last night, and he was talking about he's excited for the challenge of planning for Tyler Warren. So I assume they're going to try to be ready. And I would also expect a lot of Tyler Warren quarterback snaps, that type of thing. They are going to get him the ball. You trust and believe. I mean, there is games after it, but at the end of the day, we've talked about this. Yep. And people were saying, hey, you know, you said the other teams don't matter, 90, 95, 96, they were some good teams. And I said, well, guess what? They ain't remembered ever from a standpoint of they don't come on the field.
From my 95 season, which was my senior year, was we lost to Northwestern. When they went on their run, and we played Michigan in 3 feet of snow from the Snow Bowl. So that was my last game at Penn State. But that's the only thing I remember from 95. But you're right. Yeah. There was nothing you remember from those seasons.
Well, I'm saying you be honest. You know, you are identified with the 94 Rose Bowl. Like that is anybody that was on that team.
Like somebody from who got there in 90, like my little brother got there in 93 and graduated in 97. He would still say a member of the 94 team.
Exactly. So
Palomalo over there, he was a member of the Penn State 86 team. You know, that's how he's remembered.
Absolutely. So that's what
other
I'm saying.
Things we remember Al for, but we don't talk about them.
We keep those for after hours. No, it is, but really, it's a thing. Like as a player, here you are sitting and you play in any player on this Penn State team the biggest game in your life. Up to this point.
Your guys beat Utah. That was your Rose Bowl team. Number on the wall. That's all I look at it like that.
Right. I think. I mean, this is a step up though.
On the wall. That's the way I look at it. It's successful years. Your team, your 2024 will be up on the champions wall. We win this game Saturday.
Exactly.
On there forever, baby.
And I'm just saying, Big Ten championship. I think it's a little bit bigger than a Rose Bowl. For me,
it's
funny that we look at it differently. I view, because of my era, I view Big Ten championship bigger. I think you view the Rose Bowl.
You're falling for the Big Ten stuff, man. That was when we got to when we came in. This is what we talk about: old school, new school. When we came in, like. We came to Penn State. I didn't come to Penn State to play for a Big Ten title. I came to win for national titles. Penn State, I mean, my brother was, they played for 3 in the 5 years he was there for, you know, like Shane Connell and then that crew. Like those guys got here in 82. They redshirted and then they played for a title in 85 and 86. They played for 3 national titles in 5 years. And that's what I came here for, was to play for national titles. And we, you know, almost had our chance, but we didn't. But then we joined the Big Ten, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, you won the Big Ten," and we're like looking around, like, we don't really care that we won the Big Ten, because like they were in our locker room after the Illinois game, and they're like trying to give us roses, and we're like, whatever, dude. You know, like, oh, you guys won the Big Ten. We're like, okay, that doesn't really mean anything to us. We came here to win national titles, not Big Ten titles. You know, and I get it. You get into this, you know, it's a rut, but that's like the first step of winning a national title is. I see, looking at the shirt, buddy. I see you looking at it. I see you checking it out.
I'm not going to lie. It caught my eye. Kind of distracted.
Absolutely.
I hadn't gotten a good look at it yet, if I'm going to be honest. The Sasquatch.
Surfing with a Santa hat.
Where does one get? Where does one man get that?
Omar
shirt?
the tent maker.
Omar.
Yes. Size 17X tall. So I wore this for my man Doc tonight because we're making a donation to his family foundation for our little Christmas, his little Christmas fund. But yes, you came here and you're like, oh, we won a Big Ten title. That's great, this and that. I would see it. You wanted to win the Rose Bowl, but I would see it. I want to win the freaking national title.
Right.
That's the mindset I have. And I think that is the ultimate mindset. You can't win a national title if you don't win a Big Ten. Well, I guess you could, se.
You know what's it's kind of exciting right now, where we said we have it all in front of us to win the Big Ten.
Absolutely. It's all right back to where we were.
Win the Rose Bowl, because now how it works is if you are the highest seeded Big Ten team, you will go automatically to the Rose Bowl. That's how because the historic
we win Saturday, we're going to be guaranteed to go to the Rose Bowl.
We are automatically guaranteed to go to the Rose Bowl. So we're looking Big Ten championship, Rose Bowl, and national championships.
It's all fund our trip out there to go to the steakhouse, to go to Lowry's, me and you. And we'll go, and we'll bring a little, a little scale, and we'll weigh it for you to kind of take you back to 94 of what you didn't get. We got to pay homage to what. No. Before and after,
oh, that's actually a good idea.
No, it's
like one of those big human scares.
There's no reason to do that. I would have 6 plates
I believe it. I believe absolutely. It would be redemption.
It would not be. I cannot do that.
I find it interesting. We both agree that the Rose Bowl was probably the worst bowl game we've been to, and it's like the most historic. Because we said they phone it in.
They don't have to.
They don't have to do the cool stuff.
They're more worried about the freaking parade out there than they are the football game.
It's people the whole week are talking about the parade. I'm like, what parade?
They're like looking at you in the mall. They're like, what's Penn State? What are you guys doing here? You're like, we're playing in the Rose Bowl. Oh, you're here for the parade. You're like, no. We're a little bit after the parade.
Did you ever have any moments at bowl games where you'd walk around and say like the mall and you'd see the players from the opposing team at all?
Yeah.
Did you ever have that? Any beef or anything? Because we never did. We just eye each other down a little bit. You're like
scoping difference in our generations too. If you saw this weekend with the 18 million different fights going on between the games, it sort of has to be sort of a respect between the two teams still. I remember going down to, I told you about that one Blockbuster Bowl we went to. Mm-hmm. We played Stanford, but we were at a club, and there was some Stanford guys there, and John Lynch was one of them. We were sitting there hanging out, a few beers, talking to him and stuff like that. Rose Bowl, I don't think we ever did see the Oregon guys because California's so big. The Tennessee guys, I know I played in Canada with one of the guys, Horace Morris was a defensive end, bad man from Tennessee. And Joe didn't like the fact that we didn't win in 92 in our bowl game. So in 93, we went down and we would go and have like really hard practices. Like we'd go down like a week early. So we would be down there at a bowl game for 2 weeks. And 1 week was bowl practice. Now we wouldn't have practice here. We'd go down there and have 1 week of bowl practice and then 1 week of just like get ready for the bowl. But that week of bowl practice was hardcore. So like Horace Morris, we're drinking beers up in Canada, and he's like, man, you guys is coming in. You guys is going to practice at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we was just coming in from the night before. We knew we was getting our asses kicked that week. And he goes, we knew it. He goes, you guys are coming to practice at 7 o'clock in the morning, just beat up, bloody, and we're just coming in from the night before. And it was like, yeah, you're right, because that's what we did for sure.
That's great. Actually, speaking of that, I remember after the Rose Bowl, we go to a club, and you see, something like that. And Cam Rising was in there after he had kind of torn his ACL and was not happy, but I guess decided to go cheer himself up a little bit. So that was ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
What better way to do it?
It can go either way, man. So some definitely some good stories there, but.
The best story is the ones we can't talk about on air. Don't get us wrong here.
No.
Because there's always that one guy in your team who's never been exposed to that, and they can't handle themselves. And you're like, dude, you spent how much? And it's usually a guy that you have no idea, and you're like, I didn't think you had that in you, bro.
That's so
and you're like, you spent $600 at a strip club? What the? How does that happen?
They hand him like the money gun, and it's like, oh no. Okay, sorry. All right, now we're getting.
This is
people need to be paying for after hours at this point. All right. Well, are we about to go to break?
All
right. Well, we'll go to break here. We'll see if Nick Dawkins is going to pop in. If not,
he said 6:30ish. No rush.
No rush. We'll talk about
the chiropractor getting ready.
Hello. Welcome. All right. We will be right back with the Modelo Blue White Player Show.
WFXS. Your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
You're tuned in to the Modelo Blue and White Players Show with Keith Goon Conlon, Aeneas Hawkins, and Landon Tengwall. Broadcasting live from the 19th hole at the Penn State Golf Courses every Monday at 6 p.m. all season long. Special thanks to this season's sponsors of the Players Show: Modelo Especial Beer, Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty, Turner Construction, Austin and Pam Schanfelder, Chris and Lisa Heydrich, Marco Rivera, and Sherry Lane. Now back to more of the Modelo Blue and White Players Show.
Back into the Modelo Blue White Players Show. I am joined, as always, by the big Keith Goon Conlon. We are here at the Penn State 19th hole, talking a little Penn State football. After this break, this next one, we'll have Nick Dawkins join us. We'll talk for a little bit, hang out with him.
I got to talk to you, man.
Well, what you got?
You use the simulators?
The simulators I do. I had not this year, last year.
Yeah.
And I was in here with my girlfriend who was a golf management major here at Penn State. Pretty good. And I've been playing for about 2 years now. And so she was kicking my butt in here. And it was actually the Steelers-Bills playoff game last year. And I come over to get a drink.
Who won?
Oh, Bills. Get crushed. I had Mason Rudolph as my starting quarterback over here with the hey,
Is that when you were crying?
I did cry, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't. Russell Wilson was looking good yesterday, though, so I don't know. So were the Eagles, by the way. Good stuff.
I text you a message, go Birds. I got nothing back.
Yeah, I wasn't. No.
Nothing.
No, nothing there. We're sworn mortal enemies. We're playing each other, Steelers, Eagles, here in 2 weeks.
It is what it is, buddy.
There it is. I guess I'm enemies with a lot of people in here. It seems like a lot of Eagles fans. Yeah, we're playing this weekend.
And my wife just says the Browns. Yeah,
the Browns.
Yep.
Well,
the simulators. If anybody's out there looking to play golf, they have 3 simulators here.
Oh yeah, book a tee time. Come in here. It's honestly almost better than playing golf because you can come in here. You can you got a bar that's 3 feet away from you with food and all the alcohol you could want, and then you got a simulator and you can play 18 holes
in like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, and exactly. It doesn't take up 5 hours of your day.
It's unbelievable. It's just if you're going to golf, it's the way to do it. Maybe I can just jump on it.
Dude, we're going to come out here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll come out. You and me. Golf and Lagoon.
All I do is chip. 150 and I'm in.
That's okay. We'll make that work.
I'm a par 3 champion.
Oh, okay. All right.
You got buttered head. I got buttered back. So it is what it is.
Goon, something I found interesting that I just found out when we did our show Sunday morning is that there didn't used to be Big Ten championship. There was no conference championship games. That's a kind of a newer 21st century type deal. So you guys didn't even play a Big Ten championship game? Were you just crowned Big Ten champions?
Correct.
Did you get a ring?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got a ring that says it couldn't say national champions. because we weren't national champions. We could say undefeated champions on our rings.
Well,
that's not a lie, Dura. That's not a lie. It's unbelievable.
It's pretty
Rather
sickening. So Penn State, we have like 6 undefeated seasons, something like that.
I believe
like
Joe had 7.
Joe had 7, and there's probably some before him too, right? Back in the that we didn't get crowned for.
68, 69, and 73 were definitely undefeated,
and none of them were national champions.
Nope.
How does that even?
One
possible?
of them finished 5.
5th.
Yeah,
undefeated.
Yep.
That's
and
bad,
then in the 94 we had that's at least 4 right there. But he was undefeated in 78, undefeated in 86. So he had 7, but he had 4 or 5 of them were uncrowned.
Okay. Well,
we only had one undefeated national championship year, and that was 86.
86, right?
82 had a loss.
I want to get into conference. We're old school, new school here.
Yeah. So we never had a conference playoff. No one did.
Wow.
I mean, I'm trying to think when exactly they did start coming around, and that was like the early 2000s.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I remember watching I was like Oklahoma was on their run right there for a little bit there, and Kansas State was right there in the SEC, and then Texas and Nebraska. I remember Nebraska. It's like 98, 99. They were having them, but Nebraska had just won like 4 or 5 national titles in like a 6-year window. They won like 94, 95, and 97. And I believe like 98, 99, they were really, really good, and they got upset by Texas in a huge. So I think that people started realizing, whoa, these games are these conference games. But then we were also only 11 teams then.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now we're at 18, and for the last few years we were at 14. So it was 7 and 7. So it made sense, to play your whole side of your conference, and then the 2 top teams play. But did it? Because we would be Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State would play each other. And then the West, it was always a little – I don't think a West team ever won a Big Ten title.
Oh, no. Well –
in a Big Ten title game, I don't think it happened.
No.
Because I don't know when they went to the Leaders and Legends, to be honest with you. That was a weird time, too.
I want to keep this ball rolling with old school, new school. Yeah. I got a claim to make. All this talk, NIL, transfer portal, the college football is the worst it's ever been. This is the most exciting season in college football probably since Vince Young was playing, and it was Texas versus USC in the championship. And I was barely alive then. I was like 2 years old. But overall, this might be the most exciting season in a long, long time
because there's so many teams still involved.
Right, and part of that is now the mega conferences.
Our good friend Chris out here, he was talking to me Saturday at our tailgate, and he was saying how many teams were making preparations for this playoff. I mean, there's 20-some teams still available that can make this playoff going into Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It got a little cut up a little bit this past weekend, but there was 20 teams who were sending emails out like, hey, to get your tickets, to get your parking passes, to do all this, and they're doing all this legwork for no reason. But never, ever had this many teams been eligible to still be in the national title and still be playing.
We
really still might have 4 games, bub.
It's a scheduling nightmare for so many those poor people that plan this stuff. They're all behind the scenes.
They're not poor.
Well, hey,
trust me, they're not poor.
There is some player personnel people that have to do the on the grounds work that isn't always paid the best.
But there's no doubt about that.
I'm just saying.
Travel.
Yeah, the travel because they got to go to the hotels and test them out. Like that's the thing in the summertime. For those that don't know, there is a couple like player personnel type people on the administrative side. They travel to every hotel that your team is going to stay at that year to make sure
they make sure the food is up to snuff.
And it never was.
It's not like they spoil us or anything like that, but it was always. Did you guys eat the same meal that we did?
What did you guys eat?
Every Friday night was a steak, a chicken breast, lasagna, and corn. Every Friday night on away trips.
Pretty much. It got a little bit better. We had chicken steak, and then there was like Alfredo versus spaghetti.
Correct.
And that was pretty much it.
And
then
carbo
broccoli
and stuff like that.
Yeah. Did you guys didn't get the Sunday though? The Sunday station.
Dude, I had to tell you, Joe wouldn't let us eat a second piece of steak at the Rose Bowl. Do you think he's gonna let us eat Sundays?
Let me tell you,
he was infatuated with weight. He could not believe.
Wow.
It was he got here in 1966. He was coaching in 1950 at Penn State. And when he saw somebody, my brother came here and he was at 305 pounds. He flipped his head. He could not believe that players were over 300 pounds. And then I was, again, like I've told you before, my statistics, and I'm like, he was still making me lose weight to be at 300 or below into my last game versus Auburn. I was still sucking weight.
Were you always right around 300?
No, well, that week I was about 315, but I was like, I just mailed it in. I was like, I'm not doing this. And I knew a couple of the graduate assistant strength coaches, and they're like, we got you, man. It's because, like I told you, I never missed a run. My body fat was low. I was running. I was very athletic and very in shape. So it was always like, why are you making us lose weight? You know what I mean? Because he always thought that, the other team would be faster than us. And
right. Well, that's interesting because now a lot of it is guys having to gain weight. I would say that's more that there's always like one or two guys that's like, hey, you got to lose weight. But I'd say
there's your old school, new school comment.
Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, we normally have one or two guys that really need to lose weight and have like 6 to 8 guys that need to gain weight badly.
That's what you need. Because you'd rather have the people who need to gain weight, because otherwise you're missing a whole year because you're making a guy lose 40 pounds and then he has to put good weight back on. That's a whole year process right there.
Right. And just be clear, 6 to 8, not all the freshmen always have to put on weight.
A younger guy, I always say Jeff Hardings came here. He was 242
That's crazy.
when he showed up at Penn State.
It's like a linebacker now.
Yeah. But he was 285 by our second year and stuff like that. And it is what it is, but it was just like or would you rather have a guy like I see guys that are getting high school right now and they're like, oh, he's an athletic 350-pound guy. And you're like, that kid is 17 years old. There's no way in hell he is in shape or athletic at 350 pounds. At 17 years old, you're a large individual. That's a lot of baby fat. Does that correlate?
No, not at all. And
you're coming to Penn State and you're losing weight.
Yeah, that's why a lot of coaches want you to come in a little bit lower and say, hey, we'll put the good weight on you. Don't come in. I think in an ideal world, any coach doesn't want an offensive lineman to come in over 300. They'd want every lineman.
But there was a window there where they were trying to pump these guys out. And it was like, dude, you're missing these guys. You're missing a whole year of these guys.
Right.
And that's the other thing that's different is that you and Nick just showed up, by the way, but you're expected to be ready to play at a younger age now. I had 105 scholarships on my team. I know we're going back to that, but you guys have 85. That's 20 scholarships. You know what I mean? And then you can't afford to have a bust as a recruit. Every class has 3 or 4 or 5 busts.
Oh, a bust is a lot more costly now when you're spending $1 million on a bust.
No doubt about it.
So yeah, that's kind of it's all around. I don't know what it is. I don't know the reason, whether it's social media, but it's in the NFL, it's in college. The whole expectation is now, if you're a star, you need to be a star right away. You need to be a star as a freshman, star as a rookie.
Guys are like, oh, I'm leaving, and you're like, you met my friend Derek Pickett the other day. Pick was from my hometown. He's from my rival high school, but we grew up together. We played each other. He's 2 years older than me. I told him, I said, we're both gone. We would have both been transfer ported out because we didn't start till our third year. Nowadays, that's like, wow, he's a complete bust. He's been here for 3 years, and you're like, that's normal. 2-year starter was the normal. Now expected 3-year starter is a successful recruit. Before it was you get 2 good years out of a guy, that's a successful recruit because we had many more scholarships.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting. This is kind of going deep into it, but I think a piece of that is all the specialized training. All these kids that are 13 years old, already on a regimen. You guys just.
But I didn't know what the hell I was eating in high school.
You were doing anything and
everything. You were just doing what somebody was telling you. I remember somebody said, "You want to gain weight, you drink beer."
That's
so
good.
my thank God my parents listened to me because I had a beer every night at dinner time. I was like, woo-hoo! And I look back on it, because no one really understood weightlifting. There were people, there were certain pods or certain places, but there was no organized strength conditioning programs. There was no organized dining halls and stuff like in high school. And when you got here, obviously, that's a whole shock to your system is going through the weight room experience and then the locker room and then the training table experience because you didn't have that. I didn't know what good weight was. I remember going downtown and I had tuna fish. I put them in Kleinahans for I got my summer check. And the lady who was our nutritionist, she's like, that's not good for you. I was like, it's tuna fish. It was a can of tuna. And it was in oil. And I had no idea what the hell that even meant. And she's like, you should buy it with spring water. I'm like, what? And I just didn't know. You know what I mean? That's how far you guys are that much farther ahead than us.
Clearly we are because you got a check and your first thought was, let me go get a tuna fish sandwich.
It wasn't tuna fish. I had to make that tuna fish.
That was
59 cents.
Bro. That was your surprise. That was your reward to yourself. Like, oh, I just got paid. Like, let's go get tuna fish.
I got paid I got to make this last 14 weeks.
How much was it?
$600. I don't want to talk about it, dude. To be spoiled, man. He's over there laughing. Doc's over here laughing.
That's like over like $1,000 now.
It's unbelievable. You got nothing. We got a $44 check every the 15th of the month, and we thought we were rocking and rolling, baby.
Al, how much was yours? How much was your stipend check?
You think
no
it changed?
checks? Said $10 if you try. Yeah, we still get the little
travel money.
Yeah, you still get a little travel money,
which is insane to me because you travel and all you do is eat on the road. You don't have to spend any money.
It's just a couple bucks. Yeah, it's like it's $15.
Oh, see, the inflation didn't catch up.
Yeah, inflation didn't catch up.
I feel so bad for you guys. It's horrible.
There was no.
We're so upset
nothing.
for you. No, but I mean that was like one of. That wasn't. I just went to the store. Again, I didn't even know what. I went to the supermarket. I went to McClenaghan's because we lived off campus. You guys still stay on campus during the summertime.
Mm.
We would have to go and sublet from other students, and they use their apartments in the summertime.
They didn't the
no
team didn't
hall?
help you with that.
Nothing. They weren't allowed to. Bro.
Okay, the more and more I hear about the 80s, 90s of college football, there's
a reason why we're so miserable and tough.
It was essentially slave labor. I'm going to be so honest.
No doubt about it.
It really was.
No doubt about it. I mean, that's.
And if you even reach for a sandwich, it was
like
a
I told
bagel
you
and
when
cream
we went
cheese,
to the quarterback club. We weren't even allowed to have a meal there. That would be a violation. So the Tom Venarino would take us to CC Peppers, and he would give you $7.50. He goes, anything more, you got to pay for it. Because that's what the lunch cost at Potluck Commons, $7.50. That was the most we could spend. How do you eat CC Peppers for $7.50 when you're 310 pounds?
I guess you found a way.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely found a way. I caught up.
Yeah. All right. We will be right back with the Modelo Blue White Player Show. We got Penn State center Nick Dawkins coming on. Be right back.
WFXS. Your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU. Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
You're tuned in to the Modelo Blue and White Players Show with Keith Goon Conlon, Aeneas Hawkins, and Landon Tengwall. Broadcasting live from the 19th hole at the Penn State Golf Courses every Monday at 6 p.m. all season long. Special thanks to this season's sponsors of the Players Show: Modelo Especial Beer, Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty, Turner Construction, Austin and Pam Schanfelter, Chris and Lisa Heydrich, Marco Rivera, and Sherry Lane. Now back to more of the Modelo Blue and White Players Show.
Welcome back into the Modelo Blue White Players Show here at the Penn State 19th hole. We are now joined by Penn State center Nick Dawkins. Doc, appreciate you joining us, brother.
Return trip, baby. Another
Thank you for
return
having me
trip.
on.
Three-peat.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
three-peat, all right. No, thank you for having me on. I feel like a co-host now. I feel like I deserve a position or a title or something.
You carried the show. I'm out, man.
No.
You've been on more than Aeneas Hawkins has been here.
Oh.
Shout out Hawk. Hope he's watching for that one.
Baby.
So, Doc, I
want to get this out of the way quick. Yeah. This is what we want to do for the Dawkins Family Foundation, DawkinsFamilyFoundation.org.
Yep.
You had me saying "com" before, and I was like, I can't find this thing, and then I've been looking it up. So it's a little gift from everybody here. We've been raising money the last few weeks. Love what you do, and for your family, it's enjoy it. Hope it helps out, brother.
Well, I appreciate everybody. Thank you all for making contributions to this, and we're gonna help some families this Christmas season. Really appreciate you guys for that. Thank you so much.
I'm in my festive gear, baby.
Yeah, I saw. I walked in and I thought I was at the beach for a second. I was over inside. I'm like, all right, here we go. Yeah, we're here. We're ready to go.
They're all worried about Sasquatch surfing with a Santa hat on, baby.
Dog,
not many people can. Landon thought it was a monkey on a surfboard.
You know,
yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know how anyone could make that mistake at all. Like, why would in general?
Every time I look at it, I'm noticing new things. It really is a good show.
I was say the same thing.
I mean, that's something you'd wear to a party, and it starts some conversations for you.
Absolutely. You don't think I wear this every Christmas?
Yeah,
right. We're going to New York on Friday. I'll be wearing it up there.
Not cleaned either. Just you're just gonna hang it back up, I'm sure.
Absolutely. You think I'm gonna dry something? I have to bring this to the dry cleaner because this is one of those things you can't let shrink.
Oh yeah.
I think if I put it in the dryer, it'd come back. It'd be like my wife's size.
Zoc, do you want to talk a second while we're here about your foundation? Just tell the people a little bit about it.
Yeah, for sure. Dawkins Family Foundation. We work with at-risk, underserved youth, mainly where I'm from, the Lehigh Valley, Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, the tri-state area and such. And we also do some work in State College in between. And I have family in Orlando, do work in Orlando and Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we're quickly expanding, but we're mainly working with underserved youth.
Awesome, dude. Congrats. That's awesome stuff. Awesome work, man, in community. And you're up for an award for that as well, right?
Yeah, I'm up for the All-State Werfel Trophy, which is pretty cool. I had no idea prior that it existed. I knew that Devon J. Thomas was on the Good Works team, and I kind of looked a little bit into that and everything, but it's pretty cool. I just got put as a finalist and all that. We're competing with some guys that are all helping out the community, so it's all good work. It's all good competition. So I guess I find out, I think this week or next week, if I win it, and then if I do, we get to go to the Heisman ceremony, hopefully with Tyler Warren there too. So,
that's awesome.
Wait, they do the Heisman in Orlando now? They do the Heisman in Orlando, that whole show?
New York.
No, New York.
New York.
Okay, but they're not doing that there, are they?
No. Well,
do they have the award show on like Thursday night, like the Home Depot award show down in Orlando?
No.
It's
not doing that.
You know, actually, that needs to be we should have a college football award show. Like, why do we not have that? That would be really cool.
They've had one for 30 years.
There is.
What?
That's what we're talking about at the Home Depot at the Heisman.
That's
so I get to go to the Heisman.
Heisman's a whole different thing, though.
That's a whole different thing.
I thought it was the same thing.
I don't know. We got some work to do.
I'm sorry. I'm not. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah. Listen.
Home Depot like award show with ESPN Corso and Herb Street, those guys, and they host it.
Dude, like players go and dress up and like look good.
Yeah, they have the players, and they're like Warren will be there for the Mackey Award. He'll be there for the Werfel Award. Is somebody else up for the? I think Abdul is up for the Ben Lombardi. Yeah, but they're giving out the Heisman. It's its own thing.
Maybe I'll be up for that one too. I'm probably up for that one too. I just didn't know.
Yeah, maybe
I'm up
the last time we were here, were we not talking about how you guys? It's like, man, we just missed that one goal, winning the Big Ten, but we can still play in the playoff and still win the national title. And it was like we still have our goals ahead of us.
Yeah.
And now you get this
absolute
gift from God.
Yeah.
In Michigan beating Ohio State, and now we have a chance. You guys got a chance to go out there and take it to Oregon and Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's such a huge, obviously it's a huge opportunity for our team, but it's so interesting just in the scheme of like Penn State, because the last time we played Oregon, you were playing, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, that's such a long. When I signed up to play for Penn State, I never in my life would have imagined that I'd be playing against Washington, UCLA, USC, and Oregon all in one season. Like it's crazy.
When I signed up, I never thought you would be either, other than winning, going to the Rose Bowl. But yeah, so Penn State will be the first team to play all 4 this season in one season.
Yeah,
of the 4 new teams, and we're 3-0, so no pressure.
Yeah, no, none at all.
No, Doug, what in the locker room? Obviously, there was a loud cheer from all the fans when Michigan and Ohio State ended. But when did you guys kind of get a good assumption that you were, if with a win, you were headed to the Big Ten championship?
Oh, right before the game, like we were like right before the game started. Like you know how it is. Like you do like the pregame, and then you come in the locker room, you wait a little bit, and then coach calls captains up. We go through all the decisions and all that, and then you just hear like a loud roar from outside. Then inside, we're like, what's going on? Like something's happening. And then, you got guys that are injured, like they pull up their phone real quick, like, yo, Michigan just won. Like, huh? And we all knew like what the situation could have been prior, like speculating what could have happened. Like, all right, now we know what we got to do. When guys were just getting, guys started standing up. Like, you know how everybody, like, I don't know if people are familiar with the landscape of a locker room pregame in today's day, but like you got guys put a towel over their head, got their headphones on, trying to lock in, all kinds of different, everyone's trying to be cool a little bit. Everyone was just standing up at attention, like we were in a mess hall or something like that, like ready to go after Maryland. So it was awesome. It was definitely another form of motivation to play the game.
You celebrated that with a quick turnover.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I was really burst the bubble pretty quick there. Be like, but that seems to be the MO of this team. It's like early on, defensively, it's always like a slow start, and then it's like lights out after that. Like they need like a smelling salt to get going. Like Illinois did it to them. You know what I mean? Went right down the field and they scored. That was like their only points all day. And same thing with Maryland this week.
Well, the reason for that is we have to make it entertaining for you.
Absolutely. You made it very entertaining the other day.
There's better retention rate on the games and stuff like that. So you have to make it more fun for you.
Oh, man, that was a fun game to watch and watching you guys. And all the credit, I'm sorry, it goes to you and your senior and your fellow captains and leadership of keeping the ship going straight, because it could have gone down a little bit after that Ohio State game because that was such a deflating loss. And you guys kept it up, and it's just like that Rose Bowl year I said in 2021. It just felt like the same thing. You guys are so well led from the inside that I don't think Franklin has to do much of like talking and stuff like that, because I think you guys, we got this, coach. We got this. And that's for me looking from the outside.
Yeah. Not even just from the I appreciate you saying that, by the way. Thank you, Goon. Not even just from the captains, but just older guys taking pride in what they do and the program and how things and what the standard is. I think it's been pretty easy just to, and also for guys leading by example, the guys that are buying into what we say, buying into the standard, are having immediate success on the field and in the next level. So now when you see that championship culture, that championship standard, it's easy to follow along and do as the ones before you. I mean, that also starts with you, Al, and everyone that came before us, setting the standard for what it is to be a Penn State football player.
Absolutely, buddy. That's the thing. You always want to do better than the guys before you.
Yeah.
Always. That's how I was raised, and you always want to do better. And you definitely sure as hell don't want to regress. I mean, you were part of that bad team. The 2020, that horrible team. I was part of the bad team. No, but I was part of the bad team. Bunny, you'll know. We were involved in it. I was involved with a very bad team in 1992, and it was like we learned how not to do it.
Yeah,
we were just young bucks looking at these guys, going, "How can you let this happen?" You know what I mean? And then I think you guys had that same mentality. Like, we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let the season get ahead of us and lose this season.
You know, it's interesting, Doc. I mean, obviously, we were both there the 21 season where we were undefeated and we were the number 4 team in the nation, and we lost to Iowa. And it all fell apart.
Correct.
So you've been there for that. And now, had a really close loss to Ohio State. Can you talk a little bit about, like, what's that? What is that like in the locker room? Because we both know that can go either way. You can come in and guys can start to get real negative and it goes downhill, like kind of what happened in 21. But you guys, like Goon said, just stayed the course. Like, what does that look like from a locker room standpoint?
Yeah, I think it's maybe like you was talking about the older guys understanding, like, we can't let that happen again. Like it's like going underneath the mistletoe. Absolutely not. It cannot happen. We cannot allow this to happen. We cannot allow.
We cannot. Picture mistletoe over here.
But no, in all reality, like we've seen what it can do, how it plagues teams, and how you can like the toxins can losing, how it can impact the team.
And then
So-
if you're a younger guy, you see the older guys not giving a crap. It's like, oh, why am I going to give a crap?
Yes.
But
And
then when it comes to your time, you're the older guy, you're like, I'm not going to let that happen.
And you know, too, the worst thing in the world is wasted potential. And I've seen a lot of great football players be on bad teams and be on teams that they don't get to express their full play, and it hurts them in their opportunities. And we have a lot of damn good football players on our team. And, you know, quite honestly, I'll be damned if they don't get to play as much football as possible.
I love it, dog. And by the way, I'll ask you about the Saturday last play of the game touchdown. How did you feel about Franklin saying what he said? And I'm going to sit there and say, you know, part of me would be like, you don't throw the ball, but also part of me, what he said, he goes, I got 3s and 4s in there. I'm not asking those guys to go out there and not play football.
Yeah.
Like, that's their chance to play football. They work their tails off. Let them play football. Play the game. Stop them, coach.
It's Big Ten football. And it's supposed to be, they want it to be a rivalry game too, right? That's what you want it to be. That's why we're a rivalry.
They've won the rivalry since 1951 over in Maryland. And it's just like,
So, I mean, we got, and also it takes, what it takes at this level now, especially with the current landscape of college football and the extended games that we will have to play this year, it takes everybody. We need depth. We need guys having real game reps against other competition. Guys like Tyser Denmark, who scored that touchdown, he's an explosive young freshman. We may need him down the line.
Absolutely. Well,
so
Rucci coming in.
Yeah.
I know Rucci was getting some scrap time earlier in the year, but he's picked up more and more, and now he's out there starting, and he's playing pretty well the other day.
Yes. Guys like they need to play. Guys need to play against formidable opponents, need to play against competition, real game reps. Because you know it's so different in a game than in practice.
I always thought games were easier than practice.
It's slow motion.
It is slow motion.
But no, it is. And it's when you go in at the end of the game, like we both know what that's like when you're not like really playing yet, and then you kind of get put in and they'll run like just inside zone up the middle like 3 times. And it's like, that's not really, you're not doing anything. Tyser, like you just said, Tyser Denmark could be crucial to this team. And then on top of it, Tyser Denmark got to have his first touchdown ever in Beaver Stadium on a very memorable day. You think he's not going to remember that for the rest of his life? And that's a really cool moment for him. So like, there's a lot of other things that go into all of that. And at the end of the day, you know what? If Mike Locksley doesn't like it, win, score better, score more, just be better. Because you just went 1-9 in Big Ten play.
And
so
what James said was, you know, it does matter how much you're beating teams by right now. It is what it looks like on paper, and that's going back to the way it used to be back in the day when not every game was on television. You can even say the 94 when we didn't get we beat Ohio State 63-14 and we dropped the number 2. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
But it's because Nebraska had a big win over Colorado that day, so they took that, and then we struggled 2 weeks later against an Indiana team, and they dropped us again. And it's like they're not watching these games. Like, every one of your games is on nationally. You know what I mean? Like, if someone wanted to watch Penn State Indiana in 1994, it would be pretty hard to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nowadays, there's so many more different venues out there showing these games, and people can watch them from across the country, from anywhere. So you're seeing more game taping. You're seeing more teams where back in the day, it was just like, okay, well, what happened yesterday? Oh, wow. Michigan really struggled against Northwestern. I don't think I should have them as 6th in the country. So that's the way it was, and we're going to get away from that.
Doc, the 1-0 mentality that Coach Franklin's instilled in the program, and I've talked about this before, that not every single Sunday morning, but whenever there's a slew of upsets, Coach Franklin puts all the upsets on the board to kind of remind you how do you keep and the rest of the team keep that 1-0 mentality and keep one game at a time and not looking too far ahead, because it's hard to win games. We've seen that, and it feels like every time this year we come away with a close win over a good team that people say we should have beaten by more. You look around college football, and there's just upsets everywhere. And it's like, oh, it's hard to win games. So can you just talk about that 1-0?
You only beat Minnesota by 1 point. Well, Alabama lost that day. Ole Miss lost to unranked teams. It was like mayhem.
You know, it's so easy at this point now because the 1-0 mentality now no longer is just a football thing for me. It's probably not the same for you too. It's like, it's life. It's how I attack every single day.
That's how you can count.
Yeah, have to.
That's how high he can count.
That's how he can count.
He gets to 1, and then he goes back to 0.
That's over.
But he has the 1-0
to the school of Goon.
Yeah,
that's why I'm doing radio, just like him.
You got to face. Don't worry, you got to face for radio, Landon. Don't worry about it.
But again, you know, it's just about being present and being mindful of the opportunities that we have and how, like you said, how hard it is to win. And I'll tell you what, it's really, really easy to think 1-0 this week when we have a lot to play for too. Yep. So
it's a lot easier to get 1-0 after a win because it's like, okay, it's over, let's move on.
Yeah,
it's tough that 1-0 when you have a loss because you still harp on it. But I think the 1-0 mentality is more when you have a defeat, and that's like get that out of your mind. Like me and Landon had talked before, and everybody here had heard us talk about it before, and that is, you're playing offensive line specifically. You screw up a play, and you're still thinking about that the next play. You're done.
That's
over.
It's
compounded into 2 problems, and now you got the 3rd play in a row. You're still worried about the other play, and you're getting busted. So your offensive line, you get the short memory. So I think that want-to-know mentality comes into play with football on every play. After you got to have that short memory, and I think it's a lot easier to have a short memory on a win, because it's like, okay, well, that game's over. It's Maryland. Who cares? Let's go. We got Oregon this week in 6 days. Let's roll, boys.
Yeah, that too. Absolutely, you're spot on with saying that too.
Doc, I got one last question for you. Where, as far as pregame rituals, what you got going on, man? You wake up, maybe post, like whatever. Take me through a little pregame Doc routine.
I'll say, checks his bank account.
Yeah, it's looking good.
No money.
Looks at his stock portfolio.
Check the bank account. Realize I got to play better. I need more money. I broke.
Checking the Cayman Islands with your.
Cry. No, to be honest, one thing I really try to do this year is alleviate my superstitions from my past. Because I'm telling you, you can ask my girlfriend. We walk. I try not to go, like, if there's a pole, we don't split it. There's a black cat, I go back in my house and sleep the rest of the day. Like, I really don't mess around with that stuff at all. But when you acknowledge it, you give it power. So I remember. But I'll say this: the biggest thing that I do before every game is I open my dad's Bible up, and he has certain verses and certain chapters in the book marked. And I'll go and I'll read a bunch of them, specifically, and Bo Perbula shouted this one out, Ephesians 6-23, and that's the armor of God and putting on the full armor of God, the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, and that's what it feels like when I put on my pads and play. Not only that I'm playing for God, but I'm playing for a higher purpose in myself, which is my teammates and my team all gives it to us through God, and it just, for me, it comes full circle, and it's so present for me because I'm so blessed to be here. I'm so blessed to be able to suit up for a game in Beaver Stadium with all those fans on national television, be able to have my mom there to watch games, be able to have great people and great company at all the time. So that's the biggest piece of it, is just being mindful and being present, acknowledging how blessed and how fortunate I am to be able to even have something this important to prepare for.
Amen, brother.
Give me your superstitions. What were they?
So all right, so I will watch an episode of the Bernie Mac show before every game last year. I get the same exact meal all the time. It would be 3 scoops of Alfredo, like the pasta, two spills of the little, like the spladle of the sauce. It'd be 3 of the fillets of the filet mignons that they have for the big day. 3 of the fillets and then it'd be 2 pieces of bread. But I
got a piece of French toast back in the day. Yeah, but
he's butter. Coach Paterno was keeping them to like 1 steak, no Sunday.
Friday night was when he let us go on Friday night. He would carb loaded and stuff like that. But then Saturday was always the same meal.
Yeah,
like you guys have, like, is it served or is it buffet?
It's buffet style.
On your pregame meal is?
Yeah, on Friday. Yeah.
Saturday game day. What's your?
It's still buffet.
Okay.
But I don't eat heavy before the games though. I'm not that heavy of an eater.
Can you imagine, Goon? So I've seen this guy eat, spend some Sundays, Saturdays, and whatnot.
I've seen you eat too, Bob.
Well, okay.
And I've seen you eat, and me and my wife have been like, oh my God.
I've went into Goon's house before for NFL Sunday, stayed there for 7 hours, watched Red Zone the whole time, and probably put down like a good $50 worth of food out of Goon's pocket. And it all tasted really good. The cereal, the sandwiches. Shout out
I give you Troy's hoagie. He had a foot-long Troy's hoagie. And he was like, "Yo, dude, you got cereal over there?" I said, "Yeah, it's over there." He's like, "Oh, he has a big bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
Has another foot long. Packs a bag to go. It takes a 3rd foot-long hoagie home."
I mean, look at
damn.
If it's on your pocket, then it's liable.
It's all good. It's all good. he had what did he buy that one day? Cinnabon?
Oh yeah, I got a mean order of DoorDash. It was like $50 worth of Cinnabon. Just went bananas. Well,
I went through half of it. I look over and he's done.
Well, so
I couldn't even. I tapped out.
He bought like wings or something. He texted me to get dessert, and I'm like, I didn't see the text. So I pull up. I'm thinking, all right, we're good. And he's like, you didn't get dessert. And I'm like, I feel bad. Like, shoot, but football already started. So
what a question that is, by the way, to double check on that. Like, you didn't get dessert? Are you serious?
That was one of the first questions when I walked in the door.
I told you to bring dessert.
Yeah.
So I hit Cinnabon, went on DoorDash, and we had a little smorgasbord of Cinnabon there. Smorgasbord, yeah.
JD Maples.
Oh, baby. Don't do that.
We had the pigs in the blanket. We had a cinnamon bun.
Yeah, we had a little savory and sweet situation.
It was bad.
Goon, I can't imagine if Goon had, because you guys didn't have a Alfredo option.
Can I give you some my family stories?
Let's hear it.
I'm one of 8. How many gallons of milk do you think were delivered to we had delivery of milk because in the 70s, Abbott's Dairies in Philly, they would deliver to the home all the time, and they stopped doing home deliveries. Guess what they didn't want to do? They didn't want to lose our
clientele.
Yeah. So they called us an orphanage. And this is not a lie. I swear to God, on the soul of both of my parents, we had 25 gallons of milk delivered to our house a week.
Them poor cows, man.
Cows. We should have had a cow. We should have had a cow.
Got one.
Like that. I was just like, why didn't you just buy a cow? We had 25 gallons of milk a week. 15 on Friday and 10 on Tuesday was delivered to our house. We had a beer refrigerator, a milk refrigerator, and then a meat freezer.
Wait, can I ask you a question though?
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
And I'm one of 8.
Yes,
we're all big.
Okay. My question is this though. I'm not a big milk drinker. I like chocolate milk. I'll drink milk from time to time. I like milk with cereal.
Yep. We didn't
25 gallons of milk.
We didn't drink soda at our house ever.
What are you telling me? You got thirsty and you're like, let me pour me a hearty glass of milk. Are you serious?
I'm not lying to you. I drank 1 gallon of milk. 1 gallon of milk a day. I drank from the time I was 10 years old till I left college.
That's how you turn into a cow.
When I went to the Big 33 game, the people who hosted me were host families from Milton Hershey, and they had the silver cafeteria cows.
Yeah,
they just sat there and they just said, "We have never seen a human being drink as much milk as we see you drink."
That's because you're part cow now.
Exactly. On my dad's side.
Aren't you guys from a similar area, kind of?
He's Lehigh Valley.
It's
an hour north.
Yeah.
That's about an hour, right?
It's very different in the dynamic of people, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
No, it's not in a bad way. It's just
no. German farmers up there in Lehigh Valley. We were in Montgomery County, so it wasn't like we were out in the city or nothing like that. But we were close to the city, so that we also had a meat man come to our house every week, and he'd have boxes full of meat.
Jeez.
For us. And then we'd go to the store, and it was actually funny. About 5 years ago, a kid came to my tailgate, and he's like, "My dad owned a supermarket in your hometown." And he goes, he would call my mom and say, "Mrs. Conlon is here. We're having steaks tonight." Because my mother would spend $400. She'd have 4 of her kids pushing carts in around there, and he would sit there, and she'd be like, "That was on sale last week." He goes, "It's on sale now. It's on sale now. It's on sale now." She'd be like, "I want that on sale. It's on sale now. It's on sale now." And she would leave, and she'd have four carts full of food, and that wasn't meat or milk.
The meat man.
Yeah, the meat man.
The meat man. That's good.
Had a meat man.
Well,
we definitely. My father had to change a lot of tires to feed his 8 children.
I believe it.
No doubt.
Absolutely. I want to see Goon because if he had the Alfredo and the Sunday bar, would you have been going after it the night before a game? You think? Because I remember
before a game.
Yeah, the night before the game. Because you have the option to attack your stomach with just globs of
we
Alfredo.
used to get a New York strip, a chicken breast, a big hunk of lasagna, and then corn.
Okay,
that's a hell of a meal right there. And it wasn't. You can't go up and get 3 or 4 fillets like you guys.
Charge it to the game, man.
Yeah. Well,
it is what it is.
It's a different time.
Yeah, it's a different time.
You also have all these snacks throughout the day. We would eat. We didn't.
Yeah,
there was no nutrition back.
It was
in the day,
illegal for you to have a nutrition bar. That's what it seemed like.
Outside of the weight room and stuff like that.
No, I mean,
you guys were allowed to go in there and take stuff out of there.
Oh, whenever we want.
Yeah. Al would laugh at this. We probably all would have stolen everything in there to begin with. There'd be nothing in there every Monday night. It was still right. I would still do it, but that's just. I mean, it was. You weren't allowed to take it. Nothing. You couldn't get any kind of benefits at all. You couldn't. It was always crazy. It was always just weird. Now you know why we were so happy for you guys getting this stuff, because it was always so exploitative of what was going on. And they would be, don't get us wrong. We're not complaining because we traveled first class. We stayed in some nice places, and we, had some, good dinners when we were on the road and stuff like that. And just go out and win football games, and that happens.
Say winning solves all problems.
When you don't win football games, you're not eating filet mignon.
No, you're not. Hopefully, Doc is enjoying some filet mignon after this weekend. Nick Dawkins, Appreciate you sitting down with us, brother.
Thank you,
Good luck
appreciate
this
you.
weekend,
Good
man.
job. Thank you very much.
Congrats on everything.
Appreciate it always.
We'll be right back with the Modelo Blue White Player Show.
WFXS. Once again. The Fox. Your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7. The Fox State College.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is